Hello, how are you? Today I'm going to give you several special tips to help you lower your blood cholesterol. Many people have increased cholesterol, have a family history, and are worried their diet and lifestyle have worsened in recent months. And they ask me to help with some tips. You will love this video because you can easily put them into practice in your daily life. So stay until the end, you won't want to miss them. First of all, if you are new, welcome. Take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. I have a new video every day with recipes and tips. In fact, I already have recipes here to lower cholesterol, so subscribe, you will love it. And take a look down here where the description is. There's the video title, an arrow, click there and a tab will open where I will already place this playlist of recipes for cholesterol that I mentioned to you. And other tips that I mentioned during the video will also be listed down there to help you. Very important to quickly remind that cholesterol is indeed an essential part of our blood composition. In fact, it is related to the amount of circulating fat, and fat cannot circulate on its own. It has to bind to some type of protein to be carried from the liver, where it is normally produced, to the tissue. As I mentioned to you, cholesterol is important for various reasons: for temperature regulation, for the cell walls of our body, and even for the formation of sex hormones. The big problem is when our liver produces much more cholesterol than it should, and especially when we have a high concentration of LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, or VLDL, which is even worse. So the most important thing is that we try to reduce total cholesterol, but there is an interesting point, which is that HDL is the good cholesterol. And the interesting thing is that it remains elevated, precisely because we already know that HDL helps to sweep away the excess of other cholesterols from our bloodstream. And high HDL, increased good cholesterol, helps in the prevention of cardiovascular diseases. So our goal here is to reduce total cholesterol, decrease LDL and VLDL, which are the worst cholesterols we have, and increase HDL. So I will now explain how to do this in your lifestyle and diet. The first tip regarding your diet is to pay attention to the type of fat you consume, because when we find out that cholesterol is high, we think about cutting out fats completely. We know that completely cutting out fats is not sustainable in our diet, mainly because fats greatly help with satiety and the palatability, the good taste of our food. So it's all about choosing good sources of fat, especially because by choosing good sources of fat, you will be able to increase that HDL I mentioned, which is good for you to have increased. So what do you need to consider regarding fats? You need to reduce the fats that are harmful to you, mainly saturated fat and trans fat. Where are they found? Saturated fat is usually a fat that comes from animals, so we usually consume it from various sources such as the skins of animals, from chicken, fattier meats that steak with a layer of fat on top, in milk fat, in cheese fat. It turns out that saturated fat is easier to reduce in your daily life because you can easily visualize it, you can easily remember the sources. I think that currently most people end up overindulging a bit in the consumption of trans fats because as it is an industrialized fat, and since people usually consume a lot of processed foods daily, they end up consuming a large amount of trans fats without knowing it. Because the food industry has a regulation issue where if there is a small amount of trans fat per serving of the food you are consuming, like cookies, cake, ice cream, it doesn't need to be declared. So sometimes there is 0.5 g of trans fat and they claim there is none. And sometimes you don't consume just one serving, you consume several servings throughout the day and the week. So watch my video on how not to be deceived by food labels, where I explain more about how to read the label. It's cool, and I think this video is very important for everyone. And take a look at my video about trans fat, where I explain more about its harmful effects, the main sources, but keep in mind that processed products are the biggest sources of trans fat, and even sweets. Ice creams, cakes, pastries, these bakery items are usually extremely rich in trans fat, and obviously fried foods such as chips and donuts. So first of all, try to avoid this type of fat to benefit yourself and stay healthy. So which fats should we consume? Mainly polyunsaturated fats, such as those which are especially omega-3, which is considered to be a really very healthy fat and beneficial for health. It is anti-inflammatory and helps to lower total cholesterol, helps to increase HDL. The most important thing is that we try to look for sources of plant-based fats with poly and monounsaturated fats. So avocado is a great option for monounsaturated fat and nuts in general. It can be cashews, Brazil nuts, almonds, walnuts. They are such as great sources of healthy fats. Flaxseed, chia seeds in general, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, all of these, adding them to your diet will be a great source of healthy fat for you. For cooking, it is preferable that you use olive oil or coconut oil. And remember to control the quantities, because just because the fat is healthy doesn't mean you should consume a lot of it, as it is very high in calories. So excess weight is also related to excess cholesterol, and I will talk more about that later. Therefore, consuming fats in a normal, balanced, healthy amount will help you increase the good cholesterol, which is HDL, decrease the bad one, and lower the total cholesterol. I want to remind you that I have 2 really cool videos here on the channel, which I will leave for you below. One talks more about omega-3 because in fact, supplementing with omega-3 can be an interesting option for you. I will talk a bit more about supplements later, but I'll give you this preview. I will leave this video below and a video talking about good fats. Because this always helps us, I explain more about the issue of good fats and sources. So once again, this will also be in the description below. So the second dietary tip for you to put into practice to lower your cholesterol is that you will need to increase the intake of fiber in your diet. Of course, fibers will help, as we already know, with the issue of intestinal transit, the transit from the stomach to the intestine, slowing down gastric emptying, which will even help control hunger, aiding in weight management. This is one mechanism through which they will help you control cholesterol. But the main thing is that, especially soluble fibers, they help excrete more excess cholesterol through your feces. So consuming more soluble fibers will be a great option for you. Good sources of soluble fibers are beans, lentils, chickpeas, and legumes in general. Psyllium is a great source. I have a video here talking more about this wonderful fiber, which we can consume as a supplement too. But you can also have it in a smoothie, in juice, or even sprinkled over fruit salad. Oats are an excellent source of fiber for us to consume because in addition to having soluble fibers, they contain beta-glucan, which has been scientifically proven to help lower cholesterol. So adding more oats is a great idea. I have several videos here talking about oats, the benefits of oats, the best type of oats, bran, flour, all of that. And a playlist of recipes with oats because you can make both sweet and savory recipes. All of this will also be down here for you. We already know that losing weight will help control your cholesterol. There are several studies that say this, that weight loss helps reduce cholesterol. In fact, in specific studies, it was found that when people follow a nutritional monitoring and weight loss program over 12 weeks, which is roughly 3 months, it was found that they managed to lose 18 points of LDL and 26 of total cholesterol, which ends up being a very significant difference. Of course, this will vary from population to population, from study to study, but several studies have already proven that losing weight is closely linked to better controlling your cholesterol. After all, when you consume healthier foods and cut out processed ones, as I mentioned, you end up losing weight. It becomes a two-way street. You also help with the aesthetic aspect of your weight, but losing weight also helps with health issues. I have a really cool playlist here with tips for losing weight where I talk about various different options. I have a playlist of the best diets, different diet styles, where I discuss low-carb, dietary re-education, intermittent fasting. I'll leave all of that right below in the description. And I have a variety of many recipes for healthier eating that can help you lose weight and maintain a healthy lifestyle. Always remember that if you have a health problem, it's also important to consult a nutritionist in your city to guide you personally. Another very important tip is to consume as many vegetables as you can. This is because vegetables work in various ways to lower cholesterol. They usually have a lot of fiber, which will help carry this cholesterol to the feces. They will give you a lot of satiety, which will help control hunger and weight loss, aiding you in managing your cholesterol. And some vegetables contain certain types of substances and compounds that act like a type of plant cholesterol. But it's not cholesterol, which tricks our body. So you end up having a compensation in your own liver's cholesterol production. So this helps you control it better. In fact, there are even some types of products that take these plant cholesterol-like substances and put them in yogurt, in some types of dairy products for you to consume. But in any case, if you can significantly increase your vegetable intake in general, this will greatly help you control your cholesterol as well. Another very important tip is not to smoke, because studies show that the tar in cigarettes, not even the tobacco, but the tar, makes it more difficult for you to recover that cholesterol in your blood and take it back to the liver to be metabolized. So that's why people who smoke usually have increased cholesterol levels. Of course, it has also been found that when a person stops smoking, the harmful effects that cigarettes had on their body can be reversed. It takes some time, but it is not irreversible. So if you definitely smoke, you can indeed manage to successfully quit. I even have a video here on the channel with various useful tips to help you stop smoking. I know it can be very difficult for some people, so if you need to, ask for help and try to set a goal to quit smoking, because this can make a big difference in lowering your cholesterol. Another very important tip for your life, for your lifestyle, is to exercise. Physical exercise is fantastic for lowering cholesterol. It helps reduce total cholesterol, lower bad cholesterol, and increase good cholesterol. There are many people who have low cholesterol, low LDL, low VLDL, but also have low HDL. We always want the HDL to be higher, preferably above 40 or 50, depending on the reference standards used. But in an ideal situation, it should always be at least higher. We aim for an increased value of it. We know that physical exercise helps a lot in raising HDL. And physical exercise doesn't necessarily mean killing yourself for hours at the gym, doing very strenuous workouts, the very active, being more active in daily life, taking more stairs, walking more instead of driving, having a more active lifestyle, also helps with HDL. But of course, if you can do targeted physical activity with guidance from a physical education professional, you'll be way ahead and achieve even better results. I know that some people might feel a bit lazy about doing physical exercise. There's a really nice video here on how to shake off laziness in your daily life. It will be linked below. And there's also a really great video on how to boost motivation and make any physical activity more enjoyable. I'll also link that video below. So regarding supplementation, because many people love to buy and consume supplements to lower cholesterol, a tip I give you is to avoid those supplements that claim to be the magic formula for lowering cholesterol, because often we don't even know what's inside them. So ideally, you should look for supplements from reputable sources, where you know the manufacturer and specifically target the nutrients you want. For example, you can buy, as I mentioned, a fish oil supplement, which will be very interesting. Psyllium itself or other fibers, as I mentioned, can be sold in pill form. You can use it as a supplement if it's easier for you. But remember that in the case of psyllium, sometimes it's cheaper to buy it in its edible form, which is like a flower, and add it to your diet, because the amount you need is a bit larger. So if it's in capsule form, usually the cost benefit isn't as appealing. Another really nice option is that you can also consume other types of healthy oils, such as olive or flaxseed oil, in supplement form, for example. This is the case with flaxseed oil. Many people choose to take flaxseed oil supplements because it is among the precursors of omega-3 and also helps to lower bad cholesterol and increase good cholesterol. So you can also buy flaxseed oil and add it to your salad, to your diet. But there is also the supplement form that you can purchase. Another supplement you can add to your daily routine is coenzyme Q10. There are studies that suggest it helps to reduce total cholesterol. It usually doesn't have much effect on the ratio of LDL to HDL cholesterol, but generally it helps to reduce total cholesterol and can be a supplementation option for you as well. I have a video here on the channel. In fact, I almost forgot talking about coenzyme Q10. With more details about it, I'll leave it down here for you. Another interesting detail is that some studies already see a positive correlation between the consumption of ginger and the reduction of cholesterol. Ginger, once again, you can also use in your diet, either as a powder or fresh, but there are also ginger-based supplements. The most interesting thing is that some studies have found that in addition to lowering total cholesterol, it can increase HDL. So if you are looking to increase HDL, ginger might be a good option for you. There are other natural options that you can add to your daily routine. Teas, juices, smoothies. I have many recipes here on the channel, and they will be down here for you. And there are also some tips about the best foods, worst foods, and best teas, which are in this playlist on how to reduce cholesterol and triglycerides. because in this playlist there are also tips about triglycerides, which is a different type of fat with a different origin in relation to diet. But I know that many people who have high cholesterol also have high triglycerides. So I put everything together in this list for you, and this list will be down here in the video description. You can access it there and get all this information. Tell me down here how your cholesterol is, whether it's high, low, or if it was high and you managed to control it, what you did. I would love to see your comment. Like the video as it helps me a lot, and share it with those who need it. Let's together expand this chain of good, which is what I want here with the channel. See you next time. Bye.